Hey everyone, Matron here bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary, this time Game 2 in the best of 3 series between seleCT, the Red Terran, and NEXGenius, the Blue Protoss. The map today will be Lost Temple. seleCT did take a 1-0 lead in this series over NEXGenius, so if he can win this game, he will move on to the next round, round 2 of the Blizzcon 2010 tournament. NEXGenius is going to try to even it up by taking this game from our Terran player. seleCT did open up with relatively standard, just Marines and Marauders, and pushed out, taking advantage of sort of a timing attack as Stim did finish up just in time to meet NEXGenius, who had been trying for Dark Templar. The Dark Templar were detected by seleCT with a scan, and then he did throw up missile turrets as detectors. So NEXGenius's plan to bring in cloaked units was foiled by seleCT, and seleCT moved out with his superior army, as NEXGenius had been teching and just did not have enough warp gates and constant unit production to stand up to the Marines and Marauders. So again, very close positions here by air, but the ground distance is going to be quite a bit longer just because the 2 ramps on these bases face away from the opponent's base. So we see a 13 gateway go down again for NEXGenius, and he's sending out a scout, going to make sure that his opponent starting out going towards the close ground position. And he may get out an early zealot this time, just to try to deny scouting by seleCT. We saw last game he did not opt to get out that first zealot. He instead waited until he had the cybernetic score and the warp gate tech going before pushing out a stalker. Same timing on the assimilator here. Not much difference in the openings now for either of these players. So we see the Terran and Protoss really don't have too much variation in these first few minutes. We do see a cybernetics core come up for NEXGenius. Keep an eye on the second gas, which I had missed last time. It's going to tip off that he's going to go for some higher tech. It looks like he's going to get that up relatively quickly, so he may be going for high tech again here. So we could see a Stargate or perhaps a quick robotics facility go up as soon as the cybernetic score ends. As he is banking his gas, he's going to be about 150 when the cybernetic score ends. So it looks like the first thing he's going to do is pump out a stalker to try to deny the scouting of seleCT. NEXGenius is in the back of the base of seleCT here, and it looks like he's going to lose this probe to a good microing Marine there. The SCV is going to come in, and the stalker might be a little bit late. The SCV is going to be able to just see these basic buildings, a pylon in the back. This could hide some tech for NEXGenius, but he's not going to have any building there until the stalker takes down this SCV. SCV being chased down and going to go down one more shot there. So we see seleCT just pumping out more and more SCVs, only on 1 gas right now. He does have 2 barracks up, opening up with the same tech lab and reactor that he did before. He has already finished concussive shells, and he does have out just 1 Marine at the moment. The Reaper was also pushed out as well, so it was something we saw in the last game. He's going to use that just to scout, and it's going to be very vulnerable to the Stalker. He needs to try to use these grass and then hop up here. He's able to save that Reaper with just the 10 HP. So he's going to be able to hop in once more and get a good scout. He's going to be able to see the robotics and 2 gateways. So we see no hidden tech back here. There's just a pylon placed to probably prevent any sort of drops that seleCT may do. seleCT opting for a fast command center here. So about maybe a 28 command center that was, and throwing down another bunker. So playing the same way he did last time, throwing up a bunker or 2 to protect this fast expand, still off the 1 gas. So something that these 2 barracks are going to allow him to do is just pump out 1 Marauder at a time, and the 2 Marines, he's going to get the Stim and the concussive shell as he has the gas for it, and just use these basic armies and try to set up his economy first and foremost, focusing just on mining minerals here. Again, if he had thrown up this Vestuine Geyser, it would cost him not only the 75 minerals for the extractor, but the 3 SCVs would have to come off minerals and really slow down his income. If you look at the income tab, About 800 for both players. NEXGenius throwing up a little bit of a late expansion here. Great placement on this Reaper is going to be able to show seleCT everything that NEXGenius is doing at this choke here. The observer has come out for NEXGenius, so he's going to be able to see this fast expand. He knows he's behind on this expansion. The orbital command about to come up for seleCT, and immediately throwing down that mule as the orbital command comes up. We saw just the one bunker now, 2 bunkers in the last game, so seleCT may opt for an additional bunker here, though we don't sense any sort of early aggression from NEXGenius. He's sort of holding back. If we look at the production tab, looks like he's getting up a robotics bay. So this is going to be smart, especially after we saw last game, as seleCT came with mostly Marines and Marauders, no medevacs yet, nothing high tech. So if he's able to get up this robotics bay and get out of Colossus before seleCT pushes out, he may be able to take this game. seleCT may want to poke with these units and try to see what NEXGenius has going. If he waits too long, NEXGenius is going to be able to counter these units, or the Marine Marauder ball that he has so far with the Colossus once it comes out. Looks like this robotics bay is finished. We'll see if he uses any sort of chrono boost on the robotics facility as he tries to get out that Colossus. Here comes seleCT with Marines and Marauders, and he does see the observer there, so great scan by seleCT, going to deny any sort of scouting that NEXGenius is going to attempt with that observer. As we see the Colossus coming out, not really sure why we don't have this being chrono boosted right now, and not working on the extended thermal lance either. So we'd like to see our player use chrono boost. Some great shields here, going to split these forces. Again, very effective against Marines and Marauders, as they do like to kite, so you can trap a few units in the front and really take them out. The stim's going to wear off. We'll see if seleCT decides to use another stim without the medevacs. These things are going to get very low here, so we have some great force fields going to deny any sort of kiting and retreat by these Marauders. Marauders may be trying to work up the ramp to get some scouting in, but they're not going to be able to, and out comes this Colossi. NEXGenius did not take many losses there. Only 7 units lost so far to the 17 for seleCT, and he's now going to push out with this Colossus. seleCT's going to have to throw down another bunker perhaps to defend against this push. He does have control of this Naga tower, so he's going to be able to see as NEXGenius does move out with this one Colossus. If we look at the production tab, it looks like Extended Thermal Lance is coming out now, still 100 game seconds away, so NEXGenius is probably not going to wait for that. He could throw down a forward pylon here and then time his attack with that Extended Thermal Lance. It looks like another Colossus is coming out as well. It's going to finish up relatively the same time as that Thermal Lance, and he may be timing for a 2 Colossus attack. Needs to throw up some pylons as he is a bit side-capped, just 4 remaining supply, and just needs to keep these warp gates constantly moving. Looks like he's getting up an attack upgrade, very effective with these Colossus as they have 2 attacks. It's going to go to 17 damage with the first upgrade, so instead of 30 damage, it's going to be a full 34 damage for each Colossus, which is very effective against these Marines Marauders. seleCT right now working on level 1 weapon upgrade and also a few medevacs, so if he can meet NEXGenius here with those medevacs, he may be able to stand up to those Colossus if he can stim in and snipe them down quickly. The Extended Thermal Lance, which is about to finish, is going to make that more difficult, but we'll see which player has better micro, trying to take down those Colossus and trying to protect them. We do see 2 Colossus right now. Looks like we have a 3rd on the way, so NEXGenius may be waiting for the next attack from seleCT, defend, and then counter. He can't wait too long, as he did take down a lot of the forces of seleCT, and he does not want to give seleCT a chance to expand or macro up. Looks like seleCT now working off these 4 barracks, as we see a drop with two Marauders and 4 Marines, maybe timed and coming at the exact same time as seleCT moves at the front of the base of NEXGenius. So they see this medevac moving towards the outside of the base. This pylon on the right side is going to come into play and going to be able to see that medevac as it moves in. It looks like seleCT now sees this Colossus. We'll see if he does get some 2 Vikings are on the way. He needs to stim and retreat and try to take down as many Vikings or these Zealots as he can, and then just get out of there. He cannot take on these Colossus without Vikings and without having some good micro. And it looks like he's going to lose the majority of his units to these Thermal Lance upgraded Colossi. 2 Vikings are about to pop out. It looks like he has 2 more on the field right now. If he's able to take down those Colossi, perhaps positioning the Vikings up here as the Colossi move in, he may be able to take this encounter. as he does have 4 Vikings on the field right now. Just a bunch of Marauders as well, but not as big of an army as NEXGenius. 2,700 and 1,900, trying to take down the one Class A. He's able to do it, trying to take down a second one before they do too much damage to these Marauders. He's going to have to retreat with these Marauders, as the Stalkers were able to focus down 3 of those Vikings before they were able to get down another Colossi. The one Colossus is down to 4 HP, and it's going to be able to stay up. So the Viking needed one more shot on it. He needs to get in here, take down that Colossus with the Marauders on the high ground. The SCV is coming off, being pulled off to try to help, but just not enough for seleCT. And it looks like these Colossi are going to be able to rip apart a lot of these SCVs, as we see a few units coming out for seleCT, but not much in the way of army. He's going to have to take down this one Colossus. There it goes. Looks like both Colossus are now down, focused down nicely by those Marauders. So we see 2 Vikings sort of late to the party here. NEXGenius does have this expertly placed observer, or well-placed observer, so that he can see up the ramp here and shoot if he desires. So just gonna use a great force field here and take down this orbital command. Needs to pull back with these Vikings. No sense losing those Vikings until another Colossus comes out. Perhaps position the Vikings about halfway between the 2 bases and intercept any Colossus which comes out. Looks like now going to split the forces of seleCT. A great move here on the ramp, as he's going to be able to pick off a lot of these forces without the ones up top of the ramp being able to help. And now seleCT just being bottled into his base, as we see both players attempt to macro up a little bit. NEXGenius is going to do a misclick here. He shouldn't be attempting to move along this north side of the ridge, as these Marauders can be able to shoot down, taking down an extra few units. And NEXGenius pulling back. He now has 2 Colossus here. seleCT choosing to move out, be aggressive. Looks like he's bringing all of his SCVs for an all-in attack here. He does have a few Vikings. If he can take down these Colossus, he could perhaps push past this small force and take the game here. Again, he's up 1-0 right now. NEXGenius is fighting for his tournament life. Looks like these Stalkers are going to take down these Vikings, or attempt to. Now they're going to focus on these SCVs and Marauders. Marauders trying to focus down the Colossus. One goes down, but a GG from seleCT. He knows when he's beat. He brought off most of his SCVs there. He's got no second base, and he needs to move on, get this one out of his mind, and try to play and win Game 3 in this best-of-3 series. So 1-1 right now with NEXGenius. I'll see if seleCT is able to pull it out, or if NEXGenius is going to be able to win 2 in a row and win this series after going down 1-0 to seleCT. So about to cast Game 3, and I'll see you there.